Okay, so Traffic Talk is a program that seeks to advise drivers, those of you driving keke, those of you riding motorbikes, commercial drivers plying the streets of Monrovia. This program comes to you every weekdays, Mondays to Friday, right here on 105.1. Today I'm in for Mountain Fagins. The program ends at 6:45. And so making the program, we have our quotation, we have safety tips, and we also have our correspondents that usually call in to feed us with trending happenings from the traffic. And so the program runs up to 6:45. So welcome, my name is McGodfred Clarke Jr. Welcome to a Traffic Talk, right on ABC Radio 105.1. And so let's bring you our quotation for today. And our quotation says, no matter how long the journey takes, and no matter how the journey may be, one thing is sure, you make it. So that is our quotation for today. We also have safety tips for you in the program. But before going for our safety tips, okay, we have us here, Suleiman Jallo. Suleiman Jallo happens to be the correspondent on the program Traffic Talk is in studio. It's going to fit us in with major happenings from what you've been able to observe today within the traffic. Good evening, welcome. How are you?
Good evening, McGodfred, and good evening to. Sorry if I'm mistaken.
No, you're welcome. I'm cool. You're welcome.
And good evening to many listeners of ABC Radio 105.1 official.
Okay, that's nice. You've been in the traffic today. Basically, you care to fit us in with major happenings within the traffic.
Yes, actually today, an unfortunate incident or accident occurred within Monrovia, to be precise, the central business district of Monrovia, precisely Broad Street and that of Ashmore Street, that involved two 40-feet containers, and then that raises a lot of fear and concern to citizens, especially people that was around.
What was the cause of the accident?
Well, according to eyewitnesses, especially one that occurred at Snapper Hill or Broad Street, I interviewed one of the eyewitness by the name of Mohammed Fofana. He said the driver was not up to task because in climbing the hill.
In terms of what? Not up to task in terms of what?
In terms of driving.
Experience of what?
Yes, in terms of experience, because according to him, he says the driver to be an underage and not physically strong or physically fit, because taking into consideration in driving these heavy duty machines, you need to be somehow physically fit and well experienced driver, especially driving at in the main street of Monrovia.
Sure.
Taking into consideration Broad Street is well populated.
Yeah, it's
Many
a
people come
populated
from
area.
different part of the city to do business. And while climbing the hill, according to him, the driver was about to change the gear. Mistakenly, he uses the wrong gear.
Okay.
So the truck decided
Was it a
to,
continual truck?
of course, a 40-feet container
A
truck,
40 feet continual
40
truck.
feet container truck. And it's been speculated around. People have been raising concern that the government, through the Liberia National Police, the Traffic Safety Department, should not allow big vehicles like those trucks, especially the containers, to ply the street of Monrovia
I,
during
I,
the day.
I am more concerned.
Mm.
Precisely, you talk about Broad Street. Precisely, which part of Broad Street?
Uh, Bros, just after the Minister of Finance building.
You mean claiming towards the B.W. Harris?
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Between the B.W. Harris School and that of the
Ministry of Finance
Minister of
on
Finance.
that hill.
Thank you. They have a clinic just after the Minister of Finance called the Anataklin Clinic.
Okay.
Right there, the incident occurred, and one occurred at Oshman Street, opposite the just after the Central Bank of Liberia.
So
And immediately, according to eyewitness from the Oshman Street, the incident occurred. The central bank has to close because of fear.
Yeah, now basically I just want to get certain things straight so that people who listens to us, they get to know exactly what really happened there. Did people die?
Not really. Not really. We didn't got any information of casualty, not that somebody died. But there was one SUV vehicles, brand new, and I saw it. It got damaged to the extent that it will be very difficult for it to be repaired.
So nobody sustained injuries, and
No,
you're
no,
talking
no,
about continuing truck
not at
involving
all.
into an accident. There were no injuries, although you said you confirmed that nobody died, but at the same time nobody sustained injuries.
No. We didn't have already see anybody with an injury sustained from the accident.
Okay, so that's nice. So we go to the next place you were talking about.
Yeah, the other one occurred at Central Bank of Monrovia. That is Ashmore Street, and I didn't went there, but my colleague went there. Anthony Jeffan was there.
Anthony Japan, okay.
Anthony Jeffan, Umar Salif.
Go ahead.
All right, so Anthony Jeffan was there, and Umar Salif, and reported that a 40-foot container
Okay.
got involved in an accident. Also, while climbing the hill.
Oh, another continuing accident.
Two containers.
Two separate accidents involving two different continents.
Yes, and at the same time,
at the same time,
within the same time, sure. Because I think the difference was about 5 to 10 minute difference. One occurred here, 5 minutes later. We got another report
on Ashmore Street.
On Broad Street. The one first occurred to Ashmore Street.
Okay.
And another one later occurred to Broad Street up Sniper Hill.
So this
raises a lot of concern to citizens that if only the government can or through the Liberia National Police cannot able to put measures in place, at least big trucks or big vehicles like these, and to ply the street at night, then it raises fear. Because imagine B.W. Harris is close to where the incident occurred. If those students was out,
trying to go home,
what would happen?
Yes.
Or we know Brussels, especially like Fridays, and many people can be out. So imagine if people was out there, what could be the result?
So what the time exactly the two separate accident happens today?
It happened around because we come from praying Friday. It happened around 2 to 3.
Around 2 to 3 o'clock.
Yes, 2 to 3 o'clock. I can't able to give you the specific time or the actual time it occurred, but
the time you got on the scene, it was around that time.
It was around that time, yes.
Okay.
And smartly enough, the Liberia National Police, when the 40-foot container got the accident at Broad Street, they were smart enough to barricade Randa and McLean Street for people not to try to use the Broad Street to go up Sniper Hill, because even if you are tempted, you cannot get access to go up Duko. So they try to cause some rerouting within the Broad Street end.
So are there other things you want to touch on before I take leave of you? Well, for instance, it is obvious that you have traffic congestions around Monrovia, and for instance, the Bourgeois Island is of no exception when it comes to traffic congestions. Central Monrovia, the Tottenham Boulevard. So you want to talk about all those things and
Yeah, at times those regular traffic that normally occur within
what do you think is responsible for all this traffic?
well, at times for me personally, because I'm a motorcyclist.
Or you're a
Yeah,
motorcyclist? Yeah, well, I mean, it's
I
not for
mean,
commercial purpose.
I'm not running to be a commercial,
Yeah,
but
it's a
I have
personal
my
news.
private
Yeah.
motorbike that I use to gather stories and information around. So at times the taxi driver, they take advantage of they being owner of the road,
Okay.
saying the motorbike should not come in Broad Street or at the city. I mean, taking from Cinco up to Broad Street here. But sometimes you see finding them standing right on the road to look for passengers or to put down passengers at times. And even when you talk to them politely as a human being, they try to insult you.
Okay.
And at times, the police officer can see that and they cannot regulate it. Even Broad Street, go to Broad Street, starting from Center Street, Rwanda Street, Berry Street, Gully Street, Macklin Street, you see them standing right on the road, causing unknown traffic. And at times again, they don't patient, right? Like the Bushwood Island, Cinco, up to let me see to en route before reaching to the EGS complex, 540 there. Sometimes you find a long queue, but the drivers don't have that patient mind to say, let me stand behind the queue and observe the traffic rules. So they try to
Okay.
rush to reach early to drop this passenger they have and look for different passengers. And at times, that cannot solve problems.
So you as a correspondent,
Mm.
you're in the traffic most often, and you observe some of those things happening. By this time of the evening hours, I have 29 minutes after 6 o'clock. Which part of Monrovia you think there will be traffic now? Maybe you want to advise drivers using that part of Monrovia to maybe have a U-turn or to detour, go to another place. Which part of Monrovia that will have traffic congestion by this time of the evening hours?
Like using the Cinco to en route to Painesville, around 20th Street, you observe a traffic there. Around before reaching to okay around
Vamuman House,
Before after you pass Valma House,
yeah,
from that to Oro Junction, just
Asian Fish
after
Market,
within Fish Market and that of the Invisible Sport Park,
okay,
you find the traffic there.
traffic,
And also starting from Kelly Junction,
Catholic Junction.
yeah,
So
only
from the invisible part towards the Catholic Junction,
no, no,
there's
no, no,
not
from yes, from the Invisible Park toward
to
the Catholic
Catholic
Junction,
Junction. There's no too much traffic.
no too much traffic. Then from
Okay.
the Catholic Junction up to the EJS complex, where people normally call 540,
540, okay.
you find a big slowdown of traffic there. And from Topman, starting from Charles Taylor's house and to Topman Boulevard, you find
SKD Boulevard.
SKD
Yeah.
Boulevard, you find a traffic there.
Heading towards the SD Cooper.
Thank you. And SD Cope Road is a concern. I use that road to be coming to work. Uh, it was unfortunate for me for what I saw there today. You
So
find out vehicles, taxi drivers taking just unnecessary U-turn around that end. So to this evening, you find out you experience traffic from this end, and en route using this side from the bridge, this bridge right here, Broad Street, down here, up to Vitan,
okay.
you find a huge traffic over there.
So at the EAW Junction,
Mm.
we are informed there are some construction work going on there.
Yes, and
Uh,
there's a rerouting. Let me just clear that. And there's a rerouting just after the Togman or the SKD Boulevard. If you're going Pinsville or if you're going 72nd, you're going to Police Academy or you're going all the way to Man Barkley, I advise you use the SKD Boulevard and go to 72nd. Then you can use the Police Academy.
Police Academy.
Then you use that and you
Go to red light.
Go to red light.
Okay.
But if you attempted to go using the ELW junction, unfortunately, you find a bit slowdown of traffic there. And if you are going to the rehab area,
Okay.
I advise you will reach to 540. I advise you to use or advise people plying that road tonight to use the SKD Bar Road wherein they have the Guinea embassy from now
Yeah.
to Spoon TV.
Spawn
Then you
TV.
can use the right, uh, the bar road,
The Congoton back road.
yeah, the Congotan bar road,
Okay.
and you can go
You,
use the SKD
the
Boulevard,
SK the Boulevard.
or sorry,
Or you use uh the Peloton Road.
thank you.
Yeah.
So before you, that can be much better for you before you reach, not to reach the SKD Boulevard junction.
So you have to pass through all the sacrifices to beat the traffic
Sure,
so that you can spend most time in the traffic
sure,
and all of that.
yeah.
Okay, it's been a wonderful time with you. Is there any other thing you want to talk
When I'm
about?
I just want to advise vehicle owners and vehicle operators. If I say vehicle, including motorcycle, and to be patient, to observe the rules of the traffic as a driver. Always use the seat belt.
The seatbelt.
Seat belt is very, very important as a to you as a driver, including your passengers. And always learn to wear a shoe, not the slippers.
Okay.
And
So what are some of the disadvantages using driving in slippers?
driving
It
in
risks your
slippers,
life.
of course, it risks your life, because maybe if you take out your shoe from your slipper and you just hang your foot on it, maybe if there is an emergency for you to hold it, brake, you might mistakenly miss the brake and step on your slippers.
Okay.
But if you have your shoe tied, there's no way for you to miss the brake, neither the clutch,
Okay.
and the step on your slippers.
Okay.
So it causes risk in your life and the passengers as well.
Okay, that's nice. All right. Well, it's been a wonderful time with you on the program, Traffic Talk. Thanks for fitting us in with all of the major happenings today within the traffic. You reported there were two separate accidents today. One was on the Broad Street, and the next one was on the Ashman Street, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Was it
yeah,
on Ashman Street?
yeah, yeah.
Was so, and the two accidents involving two separate continents.
Two separate 40-foot
Yeah,
containers.
40-foot continents.
Yeah.
And you safely report that nobody died, and no one sustained injuries, and all of that. So basically, it's just the continent. So are the continents still on the road?
Yes, like for the one in Broad Street, I spent there up to 30 minutes. It will interest you to know that as of the time I left, nobody could have come there and claimed ownership of the container.
So where were the drivers?
The driver escaped the scene.
Oh, yeah.
So
Perhaps the man felt something happened. This nowadays people,
yes,
the drivers, they escape mob violence.
or he fear of him being killed by
Yeah.
angry crowd.
Yes.
Because they will say, "Oh,
The
my man,
continent fell, and he didn't know. Maybe somebody was under the continent.
he didn't
Yeah,
know.
he didn't know
that."
about all of
So
that.
maybe he only ran away to rescue his life, because we all know if
Yeah, sometimes
such
mob
things
violence. Yeah,
happened, it can be there's a tendency for a more violence to occur,
sure.
especially on the person involved.
Yes, you're right. Okay, so it was nice having you on
Thank
the
you.
program. So we look forward to seeing you another time, or perhaps by means of phone on the program. But maybe on Friday we're gonna be on every Friday. I can rest and
Sure.
we can rest and show that
Yes.
we're gonna be here on every Friday.
Yeah, sure. And thanks to all regular listeners of ABC Radio 5.1 official traffic talk. And it's been a wonderful week, and I wish everyone a safety week. Goodbye. Take care of yourself. Till then, Suleiman Jal is my name.
Okay. The voice of Suleiman Jallow, giving us update with major happenings from the traffic. So he reported today there were two separate accidents in Monrovia. One was on the Broad Street, and the next one was on the Ashman Street in central Monrovia. But by the grace of God, no one sustained injuries, and no one died in the accident. So that's it. So I'm going to give you some safety tips for you drivers. Those of you driving, we are in the rainy season, or maybe we are approaching the rainy season. But nowadays you have rain falling like almost every day. Perhaps in a week the rain falls like 4 to 5 times, or maybe 2 to 3 times every week. And you will have the road being very wet. And so, in other words, you have to be mindful how you drive, how you go about driving. It's always good to limit the speed of the vehicle. Those things are very much important. You have to avoid tailgating as a driver driving. You have to create space for the next vehicle ahead of you and the vehicle behind you. Yeah, you have to avoid tailgating as a driver. It's also good to drive wearing your footwear. Yeah, precisely. You have to wear shoes, slingers. Those things are very important. It prevents you from running into accident, something you don't want happening to you while driving. So you have to be mindful while driving. It's always good to pack to the designated places. Please avoid parking your vehicle to a restricted place. And then if you do that, is when you get in close contact with the police. And at times you get into serious problem, something you don't want happening to you. You have to make sure you have your driver's license. You have to respect the Liberia National Police. You have to abide by rules in the traffic. Those places you see no parking, please don't violate. Please abide by the rules within the traffic. And you have to watch out for people living with disabilities, visually impaired people, mentally challenged people. Please be patient within the traffic. When you see those people in the crosswalk, please slow down for a while, allow them to cross. They are living with disability, and of course you have to at least slow down for a while, allow them to cross. It's not going to eat up all your days, so just slow down for a while, allow them to cross. All right. Another thing you have to do, as a driver driving, you have to make sure that you're wearing your seatbelt, and the next passenger, the passenger right next to you, make sure the person is actually wearing on that seatbelt. It's very important. It prevents you during the time of accident. Yeah, seatbelt. Please don't overspeed. You have to limit the speed of the vehicle. Nowadays you have street vendors within the streets of Monrovia selling. You have to watch out for them. They are looking for their daily bread. Please limit the speed of a vehicle while driving as a professional driver. And so, 4 minutes to go on the program. Still bringing you safety tips for you drivers. When you're driving, you have to watch out for signs in the traffic. You have to watch out for a school zone. You have to watch out for hospital zone, residential areas. Those are places you need to watch out for driving. Once you're reaching around those places, school zone, hospital zone, church zone, residential areas, there's a need that you limit the speed of a vehicle once you are around those places. Yeah, it's very important. It's always good to check your vehicle during the morning hours every day to ensure that you have everything in tight. Your tires, your lights, everything. You have to make sure you have them in tight so that you cannot run into into accident while driving, especially at night time, please indicate where you are turning to enable the next driver give you the time to pass. You have to use your indicator. Yes, it's very important. Please indicate where exactly you are going. If you're turning left, you have to indicate. If you're turning right, you have to indicate. It's very important. There's a driving in Monrovia called bumper to bumper driving, but it's called tailgating. You have to avoid bumper to bumper driving. In other words, you don't necessarily have to be too close to the vehicle behind you, or perhaps the vehicle ahead of you. Please respect the traffic lights. In the absence of the police is when the traffic lights help to regulate traffic. In the absence of the police is when the traffic light helps to regulate the traffic. All right, so you have to observe the traffic lights and respect them. That is very important. Okay, so before I go, I'll leave you with this. Your purpose when driving is not to arrive at your destination safely or quickly. Your purpose when driving is to impress your personality on the road. Again, your purpose when driving is not to arrive at your destination safely or quickly. Your purpose when driving is to impress your personality on the road. And so until Monday, have yourselves a wonderful time. You've been listening to Traffic Talk. I've been here with Suleiman Jallo. My name is McGodfred Clarke Jr. and have yourselves a wonderful time. Bye-bye.